These past days, I've been listening to a lot of things in the TV on BBC over the COVID 19, this virus going about, and these three magic words: protect the NHS, stay at home, and save lives. First, you can't stay at home because the job we do is a non, although is a non essential job, which I work in the manufacturing industry, and my company will not close their doors because that will affect their contracts with their clients in England. And they are more concerned about the fines they will be hit with than the well being of their workforce, which is despicable. And more despicable is that the government is allowing that when they ignore the fact that our job is a non essential job. Because we're not building windows for a hospital that's being built, we're just making sure that they're getting money, they're making money. We're not trying to preserve life here. The government is not promoting preserving life because they're making us break the very first law, which is if we can work, then we should go to work. Second, save lives. Well, we'll not be saving lives, not really, because if I go to work and I am working in an environment that's not safe, right? Um, the chances of me getting the virus is a big chance. So I could be coming home with the virus and give it to my kids, which I have three kids, and my wife also works for the NHS. So if I get infected, I break the second thing that they keep saying, which is save lives, isn't it? So it's okay to save lives outside, right? But it's okay for you to infect your whole family just because your company doesn't want to close their doors for 3 weeks, right? And the third one, which is protect your NHS, our NHS. So they say, right? So if I get infected, right, and I pass it to my kids, and my wife will have to be in quarantine, she cannot go to work to help people in work which are already infected. So how does that work, Prime Minister? You tell me, Mr. Boris Johnson. You seem to have it all worked out, right? You know, people say about, you know, everybody has a responsibility. Well, if I have to do what you asked the country to do, then why do I have to do something for you, for everybody else when the government doesn't care about us? The government doesn't care about us because if they did, they wouldn't want us to infect anybody, especially our own family. So I am confused with that. And I am confused how the government seems to always find a way to, to, to get away out of answering those kind of questions. Yeah. The whole purpose of this virus getting out of control was because the government was more worried about global economy, which was already wrecked by Brexit, than to close down every single way in and way out. If they had done that weeks before, then probably they would have a better control over it. But they thought they could control it, and clearly they can't. So I'm just a bit, at the moment, I think I'm disappointed because all I see around me, and I see people on the NHS giving their lives to save lives. And what they're being paid with is having to make decisions who lives, and who dies. Sorry. And I think that's despicable. They don't really have nurses and doctors and healthcare uh, workers, the proper PPE. Yeah, they claim that there's enough PPE, but it's, to be honest, I think it's rubbish. I think it's rubbish. Yeah, um, people are suffering in silence, really, struggling to survive, and the government once more wants to pick and choose who goes to work and who doesn't, who stays at home and who doesn't. And if that's the way you repay society for the good deeds that they are doing and they will still be doing, then there's not much hope for this country, is it? I just wish that Boris Johnson and all these government officials would think about that. It's not an easy situation for no one, yeah, especially not to the people that have lost their mothers, their fathers, yeah, and they weren't even able to say goodbye, yeah. And I appreciate what everybody is doing. You know, could be chaotic in the streets, it could be people robbing, killing, and all those sort of things. And people actually listen. And most of the majority of it want to do the right thing. They want to stay at home, but they want to be guaranteed that the government is going to support them. And so far, from where I'm standing, I don't think I'm being supported. I had to use holidays to be off from work so I could do the right thing, so I could do it what the Prime Minister asked the nation to do. So, but my job is not closing just because, well, they know if the government closes them down, then they'll be supported by the government, which they can pay us the 80% of our wages. But at the moment, they're thinking that they're making it sound like they're doing us a favor by keeping the business open because it'll maintain jobs for us. But money is not everything in life. When is people gonna realize that? Yeah, because many people, you go and say to those people that have lost their mothers and their fathers, yeah, would they give all their money to have their loved ones with them? And I can tell you right now, they would be dropping all the money just to spend one more day to actually say goodbye to their family members that they have lost. And I have sympathy for those people because those people, I think, they if they don't feel like that, they should feel that they have been betrayed by their country because their country allowed this to escalate to a point that it has killed people when they thought that it was a good idea for people to get infected so they would become immune, where is no guarantees that they wouldn't get it the second time when they knew this was gonna kill old people, vulnerable people. This is only, for me, is a plot to get rid of unwanted weight for the NHS. And I'm sorry if people will find that offensive, but you look at it very carefully. And when a virus is mostly kills vulnerable people, sick people, people that probably in their eyes was a burden to the NHS, yeah, it's very coincidental how they allow that to go on. So think about it. Think about it. Some people like talk about conspiracy. There is a conspiracy there for you. And when all the smoke clears out, we'll find out how this really came about and if the government has done enough